Welcome to another exciting episode of the $1 Million Peddlers. I'm Paper Guy.
I'm Mr. Magazine.
This is going to be an uplifting video.
Nice.
About time we do one of those. Mr. Magazine was just telling me a story before we went on air.
Oh, you're quick.
I'm very quick. Basically, one of his competitors ran out of pocket money. How about we put it that way? And basically has X dollars, whatever that X happens to be, to spend during a day. And then once he's done spending it, he doesn't buy any more that day. And, nicely sent the customer over to Mr. Magazine because the customer needed to make the sale. And Mr. Magazine, did you have a little pocket money left in your pocket?
I did have a little bit left, absolutely.
A little change in your pocket going jing-a-ling-a-ling?
I worked a deal out with him and told him there's more where that came from. If he can come any time of the day, and if he's got a deal for me, I'll make sure he gets paid check or cash.
There you go. And that's kind of important in reselling. Now, when I first started, I didn't have two nickels to rub together. I just didn't. We're going back 20-some years ago. Things were a little bit tough. But even then, I had unofficial lines of credit. I had friends that I could borrow from if I absolutely needed to, if the deal was really good. I did at one point have a home equity loan on my account available to me on my old house. I had that available to me. And I had, a little bit of money hidden away in the, in between page 17 and 18 of the dictionary. I had a little bit of money hidden. Figured nobody would look there when they came into the house.
True.
And so on. But how many deals have you borrowed to buy, Mr. Magazine?
Oh, geez. Hundreds of deals over the last 25 years. Definitely hundreds.
Yep. And obviously there are deals that I couldn't handle. There is no doubt all about it. There are deals you couldn't handle. And we always bring up Mile High Comics just because he's, a huge comic book dealer. If he came to either of us and said, look, I want to get out of this business, I'll sell you everything I own at 10 cents on the dollar. That's a lot of money.
Yes.
We might be able to actually get a bank at that point to back us because you're buying the stuff at 10 cents on the dollar.
Right.
But say it's a private deal, so no bank's willing to lend you the money on it. You're talking $1 million deal. I got to walk on by. I don't have that kind of money. You don't have that kind of money.
Great deal, but yes. Yeah.
But within the parameters of the deals that we see, there's pretty much no deal that we couldn't buy if we needed to. Would you say that's true?
Well, and if I can't afford it, or if I'm tapped out of my lenders, and I always ask these people, they can get the background checks on me or whatever, that, will you take a payment plan? I'll give you 50% down, and I'll guarantee it in 6 months or a year or two, something like that. And 9 out of 10 times they'll do it. They just trust me. They check out my history, my website, my eBay store, or word of mouth, or other people that they know through me, so forth. And they'll loan me the money, or they'll let me, pay them.
Give you terms, and
And these are people that I've never met before, or hardly knew them, or and I guess dealing with me, even on terms, is better than dealing with no one else out there. So if no one else wants it, and I'm the only option,
right.
I'm very fortunate to be in that position a lot of times.
Well, and the other thing too is, as long as, and this has negative connotations, and I do not mean it that way whatsoever when I say this, as long as they're on the hook, and I do not mean that in a negative way, as long as they're on the hook, if you can buy a little bit of time, if they know that you're serious, even if all you do is you say, look, I'm going to put $5,000 down as a, save it for me type deal, give me 3 weeks. Guess what you and I both have, Mr. Magazine?
Stuff to sell.
There you go. Whether it's I suddenly throw a 50% off sale in my store, whether it's I suddenly crack the door on the collectibles room and grab a couple of really good things out of there. I know you've done that any number of times in the past.
Yeah.
You've had a deal come along and you said, look, as much as I enjoy this one item in my collection or these couple of items in my collection, I'd enjoy making the money off this deal even more.
Sure.
And you've moved the items from your collection just in order to come up with the money to do it.
I've done it many times, and I like to kick myself in the butt sometimes because it's hard to buy some of those things back. But I did it for good reasons. Bought the warehouse. I needed to buy shelving, this or that. Shelving was $20,000. I had to sell a few lightsabers out of my Star Wars collection, but I'm better off now having the warehouse than having a few lightsabers. You know.
Well, you don't think having those boxes all piled up as high as they possibly could, falling over,
Oh, yeah.
somebody having to climb up and then take 12 boxes down
Yeah.
to get to the bottom box?
Perfect.
You don't think that would work very well?
No.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to see that.
Oh, sure.
I don't think OSHA would, but I'd like to see that.
Exactly.
But that's one of the most important things is start putting money away for a rainy day. And I don't know where on the reselling journey you are. If you're starting out, it's easier said than done. I do understand that. I was there. I had a hot pot and ramen noodles. That's pretty much what I was living off of for a few years back there when I first started off. We've all been through tough times. I'm seeing it with Random Neighborhood Kid. He's out on his own now, and all of a sudden he's not eating lobster tails. Go figure.
It's crazy.
Go figure. But as you get further along the journey, and yes, you've got all life and all that kind of things going on, the new house, cars, family, et cetera, put aside a little bit of money for a rainy day, because it's always great to be able to have the money. And Mr. Magazine, you've been, recently with your hip, you've been buying fewer deals, but before that, you were buying a lot of deals. Why?
No one else was buying.
There you go.
And I was buying at the right price. Things were slow, but I still am stockpiling.
Yep. And why was no one else buying, would you say?
Because things were slow. I think they didn't have any. They weren't selling a lot. They didn't have a lot of money, a lot of capital. They didn't want to. Why am I buying more if I can't sell what I have? And I was offering less or not buying at all. I was being real selective, and 9 out of 10 people were still selling to me at my lower offers than I normally would.
Yep, their cash flow, they didn't have any cash flow is what their problem was, and they didn't have the back cushion. And we all cut back when we don't have the back cushion, which there's nothing wrong with that at all. Obviously, if it's not the best of deals, you'll walk on by no matter what.
Yeah.
But if you've got the money available to you, you just never know what deals you might have. Certainly, I'm going to make an outrageous statement right now, Mr. Magazine.
All right.
You have more opportunities to get great deals with more money than if you don't have any money.
Makes a lot of sense to me.
That was bouncing around up there, isn't it?
You're a genius here.
I'm going to get that on a T-shirt, whatever I just said. No, but cash flow is important, but always put away a little bit of extra money back there, and that way when nobody else is buying, you are in a position when you are able to buy. You go to the flea market, you go to the house call, you go to the auction, you go to whatever it is. Obviously, don't spend stupid. There are times when people are spending stupid money on stuff. Walk on by, let them have it, because there'll always be another sale, there'll always be another deal.
Right.
But if the price is right there, and everybody else is walking away because they can't quite handle it, but it's still a great deal, that's when you tap your friends, that's when you tap the bank, that's when you tap your home equity, that's where you tap your savings, that's where you tap page 17 to 18 in the dictionary. You tap wherever you've got the money at, because that's the time to buy. And you got to strike while the iron's hot, and you can end up getting a really, really good deal. So just kind of keep some money back, keep some credit back, whatever, even cash advance. I did that one time. I took a cash advance on a credit card because it was a good enough deal that was what I needed to do. I didn't have the cash with me. Did what I had to do. And obviously you figure all those costs into it as well, because those are definitely costs.
Yeah.
But you do that, and it's a one-time fee, whatever, you pay it off, and you're all well and good. And as long as you get a good enough deal, you're still way ahead of the game.
For sure.
So hopefully that helps you a little bit. Let us know some of the great deals you've had if you could. Hit the like button, and we will see you next video.
Take care. Bye-bye.